Hi, welcome back. It's time for the State of the Union, part of my campaign update address for today. And the Union is on pause, but it's becoming unpaused now. And so I think we'll see some changes, and the duopoly is talking to each other. So that's good. But we do, the checks and balances do work. We've seen it. It's painful, but it does work. It stops tyrants from being full tyrants, and it stops Congress from doing its stuff, although Congress still is very powerful. They make a lot of frivolous laws that we don't need, and then they waste a lot of time just trying to look busy. So, one of my election reforms and government reform actually is to get rid of the House of Representatives. And then you and me and your neighbors and everybody, your grandma, we are then representing our voice directly. It's called direct democracy. So we'll still have the Senate. And there I would like to make the change that one man and one woman goes forward and is a senator so it's no longer district-wise. It is two people, one male, one female, to represent the polar opposites on the gender scale and everything. And then we get women's voices. Because over and over again, we got men who seem to want war. And it's just time. Okay, you guys are out of control. And it's enough. So we need a female voice. We need female voices, not just one. And that's why we need to start from every state bringing one man and one woman. I think that they should both be parents, whether it's an adoption or whether they gave birth or natural or whatever. It doesn't matter. They need to be parents. And so that they have a full experience of life. So they know the difference between being single and being a parent and the ups and downs of all of that. And then the Supreme Court, I think they're doing fine. I actually like the Supreme Court. I think they've got some really good people working on it, and it represents a big, diverse community that our country is. So, I'm a big fan of the Supreme Court. And then I lived abroad for a while, so I saw how Switzerland runs their country, and it's very peaceful. There's not a lot of idol worshiping going on where, one leader is like, oh, look how great you are, and then the other ones are not, and then there's not a lot of attacking between the people running the country. So they have a lot of different parties too, which then help to give a voice to more people. And they have a direct democracy. So I've been doing the direct democracy voting. A couple of times a year you have to vote, and you will be informed about what you're going to vote on. So this is one of the main problems with our system is, we don't even know what we're voting on. We don't know that we even have a vote going on. And it's a shame. It's a shame because our state governments are failing. They're also extremely part of the problem. They've misunderstood our government and how it works and what it means to be a U.S. state. And so we have to also work on that. And we also don't need a legislature there either. The people can vote directly on issues too, and cut out the middleman because they're not representing us anyways. So nowadays, people have so much information at their fingertips. There's no need to have a middleman to block our personal opinion. And we certainly don't need a two-party system. There are many other parties out there and many other voices and even write-in candidates. So we don't need these two big political parties. Plus, they've sent us down this corruption path. And, it's not healthy. It's just not healthy. It's not good for our kids to see. It's not good for our pocketbooks. It's not good for our mental health. And so we have to stop this idol worshiping of the Democrats and the Republicans, and we got to move forward in a new direction. So in Switzerland, the executive branch is actually made up, it would be like the presidential cabinet. And the president would actually also be in charge of a department. And then whoever is president for 1 year, they represent the country at all the international events and wherever a president is needed. So for 1 year, and then they're done, and then it passes to somebody else. And while they're doing the presidency, somebody else will fill in for them at the job that they were normally in charge of. And so I think it's a better way of running a country, because we waste so much on useless, frivolous, terrible ads and just accusing and exposing all sorts of dark secrets that are just unhealthy. And why do we have to have a fight? It doesn't have to be a fight. It can be a conversation with a conclusion and a solution. So, everything about our election process is about them against us. It's about building hate rather than community and unity. And since we are the United States, we should be united, not divided. Got it? So that's just the first part of my United States State of the Union statement at the moment. And, without a proper election, we don't even have a country. So we definitely need that. And then from there, we can go after we get our government a little bit better under control and working better. So we might have to call a constitutional convention and maybe a state of concern or a state of emergency. I don't know. And just go forward. We even though the government was shut down, things functioned. So it's not the absolute end of the world, but we also don't need to have a lot of waste. So I guess what I should probably say, you've already heard my to-do list, and if you haven't heard it, I have some videos out there on it, so maybe just Google my name with the word to-do list, and you should get to a video that has it. It's on YouTube and on all my other media platforms. But I think right now, more recently, I've made some changes in my own agenda or my own platform, my own belief on where we need to go. And as people, as a country, as a whole. And the reason for that is I realize that actually AI is much more advanced than I was predicting myself. And I'm not in the know, so if I was already in Washington, I would know some things, but I don't. So I only know what you know, pretty much, which, we don't know so much. I do know that China is far more advanced than we are, and I think also Australia might be, and a few other countries. So we are not really the true leaders on this, which is fine. We don't have to lead everything. We really don't. What we've often done as a country is inspired other countries to do better. And that is what our goal should always be, to be inspiring. and do better ourselves too. So sometimes it doesn't mean that we have to be number one all the time. And I'm going to say this too. So many times when you hear politicians talk, they say, we are the richest country in the world. And we're rich in diversity, yes. But monetarily, we are not the richest country. What we are is we have the biggest economy. That doesn't mean we're rich. It means we shop. So we are the shopping mall of all the world. They're selling their products here because they know we're going to buy them. And especially a lot of countries make them cheap by having slave labor, supposedly, and they're selling them then here cheap, and we buy them. So what we need to do, because AI, robots, they're all coming, people are going to need purpose in life because they're not going to have a job anymore soon. So we need to support our local people so that they don't break into our homes and cars all the time. We have to make sure they have purpose and a job. That's how it works, folks. So we got to work on this together. Make sure the average Joe has something fun to do and get paid for it. So if we constantly buy things from China and other places, we're supporting their people, which is not bad. It's not wrong. And I don't want to stop all imports. But there was such a unevenness to the tariffs that were out there that I agree with most of the tariffs that Donald Trump has done. Because the more tariff money we bring in, too, is maybe we can discount taxes on personal income, perhaps, or use the money in a different way that's coming in. Or maybe even we could go without an income tax at all on the federal level. So there are so many ways that having tariffs can benefit and are benefiting and should benefit. And eventually, I'm hoping that all of us do well enough where if we decide, hey, I want to try what it's like to be in Singapore, and you go there and you have a Singapore experience, or you want to know what it's like to go to Congo, and you go to Congo and you buy Congo products there. Because we don't have to have everything here in our country, all over the country, every day of the year. We can also have spotlight countries where that year we focus on this country or that country and have a learning experience too. So there are so many different ways we can go about it. But we don't need to be supporting people in other countries as much as we were. And we don't need to be spending so much money because a lot of it is stuff we don't really use, right? So, we need to stop being the shoppers of the world and we need to support our local people. So buy USA products. Buy made in the USA. It's time to support your neighbor, your community. And in doing so, you support yourself too. Because then you have good, happy neighbors. But then I have also in my platform education reform, which will focus on teaching young people a trade early on so that we can keep the special trades out there, like being a carpenter, like being a bricklayer or a mosaic maker, And yes, we could give this and outsource it to robots and stuff like that. But you know what? We don't want to give everything to the robots because then we're not going to know anything. And that's dangerous. We don't want to do that to ourselves. So, we need to look out for each other, the U.S. citizen and the green card holders. We need to look out for all of us and make sure, we also need to look out for the foreigners too, but our main goal is ourselves and making sure that we have the tools that we need to stay alive as a country if, plan A doesn't work. And so this is where we are. We need butchers, bakers, and chocolate makers, coffee makers. And then we also need mothers and fathers. And for those two jobs, I want to pay them. So we're slowly going to be moving probably into a UBI concept, so a universal basic income. Or maybe we just slash all the prices and then lower everything. So there are many ways to go about figuring out how to make it work that people have a better quality of life and where they're earning money and can survive without going into debt, without any of this problems that we have currently. So, yeah. But I have a big platform and it covers a lot of things. And so I think that's probably enough for right now to get us started. And maybe on Sunday I'll go over the main points or something like that. I don't know. Let's see what happens. But for right now, that should get you started. And go have a look because I've made several videos on my platform and my to-do list. And so, everything is still in the works. I'm already working for you and I'm not even getting paid. It would be nice to get paid. So anyone out there who wants to, send me a couple of dollars, please do. And, if the government wants to support me in some way, I won't say no. So anyway, long story short, that is the end of State of the Union. It's messy right now. It's messy, the USA. We're not broken. If we kept going, we would have broken for sure. But we stopped it. Donald Trump stopped it. And now it's time to rebuild in a new direction, which is perfect timing. So let's see what's happening. I feel change is coming, and I think it would be good. So that is my news for now, for the State of the Union. This was part 2, and I am Susan Maud Buchser-Lochocki. My website is susan4usa.com. And don't forget to like and subscribe to this page wherever you're seeing me so you can get the latest videos as I put them out. And then, let's see. The other thing is, State of the World is coming up right after this. So stay tuned. See you in part 3. Bye.